Hello everyone, welcome to the session on FRM Part 1 Self-Study Sequence Guide applicable for May, July and November 2021. In this session, we will see what is the purpose of using the self-study sequence, then we will see the importance of the self-study sequence, and then we will see the specifics of the self-study sequence, like what are the key points here in this new self-study guide. So we have completely new self-study guide compared to if you just compare it with the 2020 self-study guide. So there are few changes in the order of the topics which are designed. Then in complete format, there is change and we have some additional key features here, right? So let's first understand the purpose of the self-study sequence. So in FRM Part 1, we know that we have 4 books, starting with the Foundations of Risk Management, which in the order it is like book 1, 2, 3, 4. So it is Foundations, then Quants, FMP and the VRM. Now, when you start with the book 1, ideally, if you are not following the self-study sequence, you will start with the book 1. Now, if you start with the book 1, you are going to come across the chapters which requires the understanding of chapters which are covered in the book 3, book 2 or book 4. I will give you one short example. So just say we have in a sequence, we have Foundations of Risk Management set 9. In this, we have first 2 chapters, which is Modern Portfolio Theory and the Arbitrage Pricing Theory. Okay, APT. So to understand this particular section, you must have the good understanding of first 5-6 chapters of statistics, quants, book number 2. And for APT, we need regression. In CAPM also we need regression. So you must have the detailed understanding or the good understanding of the complete quant section to understand these 2 chapters. Now let's see the first chapter of your book 1, which is the building blocks of the risk management. In this particular chapter, we are talking about all the types of risk, but all the types of risks are covered in book 3 and book 4. So if you study book 3 and book 4 first, then you will be able to understand this particular part better. Now we can proceed like this, and with all this particular thing, you will be able to understand, with this particular sequence, you will be able to understand like what is the problem. So instead of discussing the problem, just remember following the sequence is very important. There are 2 prime advantages of this following sequence. First, it will offer you better understanding, okay? Because let's say you are studying this chapter in the book 1, chapter number 5, and you will come across lots of mathematical jargons you may find troublesome, but these jargons are simplified in the book 2. So if you follow a particular pattern, it will be able to provide you better understanding. Okay, this is the first advantage. Second is, when you are not getting stuck in all these details, if you are moving smoothly across the syllabus, then you will be able to save your time. So there are 2 advantages. You will get the better understanding and you will be able to save a lot of time if you follow the self-study sequence. Okay, so let's start with the specifics of the self-study guide. Okay, so before we begin the specifics, let's understand for whom the self-study guide is applicable. First is, of course, self-study students who are following GARP or any other material and who are not specifically taking any tutorials. Okay, so any video study packages or not taking any classes for the preparation. Second, this self-study guide is also applicable for those who will enroll for these section tests. Okay, we are starting with the we will provide you this section test. So if you are going to subscribe, or you have already subscribed to the section test, then this particular self-study guide is applicable for you, sequence is applicable for you. And third is also for Falcon students. Okay, now starting 2021, we will have same sequence for Falcon students as well as normal self-study students. So everyone will be following this same self-study guide. Okay. Now this is your first set. For this session, for 2021, we have divided complete syllabus in 10 segments, 10 sets. So we are calling it as set. Set is either subject wise or topic wise. So here we have set 1, which is for the quants, and it covers the basic statistics parts of the quants. In this particular set, we have key information which is related to the expected number of questions, which is given here in this order. So if you ever use the previous self-study guide, you know that we used to provide the expected number of questions with the chapter here. Okay, but now we have CBT coming for the May, July, and November exam. In CBT, chances are GAP will use a randomization as in there will be database of say 300 questions and computer will randomly generate 100 questions and will throw it in front of you. So it is not that like practically possible to give expected number of questions for the each chapter, but still there is a possibility because GAP might give you this particular advantage. Like there is a still possibility that GAP will add questions in that order. Like if say the probability chapter, just assume that probability chapter is very important, so GAP will add some more questions for that probability chapter, and based on that you will get questions. And I'm talking about the advantage. You might get the advantage of at least section is tested properly. Okay, so it is very highly like unlikely that you will get say 20 questions on just one chapter, because at the end randomization is the normal distribution. It will distribute questions normally, right? So here the expected number of questions 8 based on the previous exams till Jan 16th Jan exam. Okay, now let's understand what are the this color notations. Okay, so blue, yellow, gray, and red. So for blue is the easy topic. Wherever you see blue for any topic, assume that topic is easy, and chances are you will get tested like in depth. Okay, so the questions will be very detailed, tricky, like that. So generally, whenever the topic is difficult, whenever the topic is easy, GAP asks slightly tricky questions. Whenever the topic is difficult, say this testing, GAP prefers to stick to the basics of that topic. Might ask, in some cases, GAP might ask you the tricky questions, but generally GAP sticks to the basics of it. Now, next is the yellow. Yellow is the average difficulty level. So easy for blue, medium or the average difficulty level for the yellow, and red is for the difficult topics. Now we have one gray section. Gray section is just say out of the line topics. Out of the line as in this particular topic, which is the multivariate random variable topic, is very highly loaded with the mathematics. So if you just start with this particular chapter, in the first segment itself we have like multivariate, and if you come across this chapter and this chapter is difficult, if you are not very used to the mathematics, the complicated mathematics, then you might find this topic difficult, and this you might end up building a complete notion that the complete syllabus is like this. But the reality is overall syllabus is normal, average. Okay, it is not very highly difficult. There are only few topics which are difficult. So I'm marking gray for the topics which you can postpone in preparation, like finish it in the end once you are done with the complete syllabus. If you get time, then prepare, or you can simply skip it. Both the options are available. Okay, so yeah, first of all, those who think skipping topic is like giving up, it is not giving up. It is known as a smart preparation. So you are preparing in a very smart order or the smart way, where you are picking topics which are easy to score or easy to understand. Okay, you are trying this combination. So whenever you find a topic difficult, if the topic is difficult for the understanding, then automatically topic will be difficult for scoring in the exam. This is normal. Okay, human psychology works like that. You will be afraid of the topic, right, in the exam. So hardly you will get maximum one or two questions max, right? So even if you skip this topic, it is not going to create a big problem. And if you must, my recommendation is just read the topic once, see how much you are able to understand. If you are able to understand everything, well done. If you are not able to understand everything but you are able to remember few key points, still we are good to go, right? So this is the first section. So we have the order here. So you have to start, you have to pick the set one, then start with this particular order, finish this set. Then my recommendation is appear for the test. How to prepare? First of all, let's discuss how to prepare. In preparation, if you are taking classes, then obviously we'll watch videos, then you will read the section, then you will solve questions. Okay, solve practice questions or whatever questions you have, solve those questions. Once you are done with the solving those questions, Now, how to know you are good with these particular topics compared to the other students? See, ultimately FRM is the competitive exam. So if you are performing better than the others, then automatically what will happen? You will be able to score or pass in the exam, because in competition you don't have to prepare everything. You have to just be better than the others. If say rest of the students are scoring 40% out of 100, then you have, even if you score 41% and let go 59%, you will still consider, you'll be considered as a pass, right? So we have to just make sure you are scoring better than the others. For this particular purpose, I recommend you the section test. So this is the information on the section test: 8 to 10 questions, time limit, and passing percentage. Now there are two ways to appear for this particular section test, or three, we can say. Okay, first is the subscription model. So you can subscribe to a section test and solve this section test. Second is the free test. Okay, we will provide around 100 free enrollment for the free section test. Okay, both the tests are different. In subscription test, questions will be different. In free test, questions will be different. So there is a difference, but we will provide you the 100 when, I'm not sure when we will start this particular free model, like in Feb or March. We are yet to finalize on that. But subscription test is starting from the 4th Feb. The first test, this is set 1 test, will start from the 4th Feb. Okay, so how you should prepare. Now I'm just assuming that you are going to appear for a test. Consider everything. Okay, both the tests. Now say you have test on the 4th Feb. So instead of preparing or thinking about the whole syllabus, just take these 6 chapters. Prepare these 6 chapters. Finish your syllabus. Finish your syllabus of set 1, and then appear for the test. If you, once you appear for the test, you will be able to know what is your score, what is average score, what is passing score. Passing score is already mentioned here. So you will have 3 details. You have to just note down here what is the average score. So passing score is already mentioned, which is this passing score. Average score as in how other students are performing. So say other students scored 60%, passing is 55, other students scored 60% on an average. And your score, say you scored 70%. So if you score 70%, you can conclude that you are good, you are well prepared for this particular section. Okay, what if you score less than say 55%, or say you scored only 40% and average is able to score 60%? Then you should be concerned about this, meaning you need to fix few things. You have to focus on few areas. Question will tell you like what was the problem area. Like if the question is basic, it will tell you that if you make it wrong, if you take that question wrong, question answer will tell you the question was on the basic, you lack the basic understanding, you have to revisit that concept, right? So this is the proper process which I recommend. Third option, I told you, like I will give you 3 options to how to get the section test. Third option is not very ideal, but if you want to go with that option, you can simply, if you have any question bank, just take like photos of that question bank, but make sure that the question bank is completely different on which you are practicing. Okay, so from the question bank in which you are practicing, meaning the practice question bank and this test question bank should be separate. What, like if you practice from the same question bank and then take the same questions and then practice on that or test on that, it is not going to give you any advantage. You will always score like 90% because you have already seen those questions. My recommendation is it should be different. So you have to just take those question bank, take a photo, edit it, create a set of like 10 questions and then solve it. At the end you will be able to know the your score. Problem will be like you must know the average score and the passing score. Passing score is based on my previous experience of previous mocks, like how students perform. Okay, so based on that we have decided the passing score. So you will get the additional information here which is very critical for your preparation. Now what happens, what is the advantage of section test, why we are putting so much emphasis on the section test part? I will give you the explanation. In my previous experience, I can tell you, from the experience I can tell you, like the students who appear for these tests, okay, even for the mock test, what happens is once they appear for the mock test, their whole preparation style changes, because now they know what is their problem, what type of questions are asked in the exam, and once you know this particular information, automatically when you start the set 2, you will change your preparation style because you know the expectation from the government. So if you change your preparation style, see, you are spending same time in reading that chapter, but your focus changes. As soon as your focus changes, your whole preparation will change. It will, your complete trajectory of your preparation will change, right? So that's why the recommendation. And if you just want to go with the normal self study style, like just finish, then also you can go ahead with that. Not a big problem. Okay. Okay. Next is the excuse me. Next is the set 2, which is for the FMP, futures options market, on this section. And here we are just covering the basics. Okay. It starts with the chapter 4 to chapter 12. These are the basics where you have some difficult topics. Again, you can read here. Your section test will be on the 12 to 15 questions, 60-minute passing score, and rest of this. I will provide you a separate video on the section test. Okay. So right now we are just focusing on the self-study sequence. So in this section, you will study the basics of the futures and options, complete basics. Then you have some average difficulty level topics, which is about mainly these 4 topics. Sorry. So you have to make sure that please make sure that you are good with these topics, because the preparation in this particular section is going to affect you in the later sections. Okay. So at least 50% of the syllabus is dependent on set 1 and set 2. Okay, so you have to make sure that you have like proper understanding of these sets. Expected number of questions 13. Next set, okay, and you have indications here. So difficulty level, easy, medium, mixed difficulty level. I will show you where is the mixed difficulty level, and there is separate meaning to the mixed difficulty level and the difficult section. Then you have the set 3. Set 3 is for the FMP and the VRM, and this set is for the fixed income section. Now this is fixed income basics. Okay, in this we are going with properties of stock option. So just note it down. These 3 topics are from the FMP and these 3 topics are from the VRM. Okay, FMP, VRM, both are covered in the single set. So what is the advantage here? Remember, these topics are completely interlinked. So you are going to find a repeated discussion. Same discussion is covered in first 3 topics, and then similar discussion is covered in these remaining topics. So some discussions are elaborated more here, some are elaborated more, say, in this chapter, but everything is interlinked here. That's why we are keeping these 6 topics together. So if you prepare in this particular manner, because you are seeing the same topics again and again, automatically what will happen? You will be able to get the better understanding. One important point here. In the first chapter, we have topic which is duration. So you can skip this topic, the duration in properties of interest rate. You can prepare this topic in the advanced level. You have complete chapter on DV01 duration. Okay, so prepare there instead of preparing here. Next is the set 4 quants. Then in quants you have 3 topics, 2 are difficult and 1 is easy. Next is for the FMP, which is the futures options and which is advanced. This is FMP plus VRM. These 3 are from the FMP and these 3 are from the VRM. Okay, but it is part of same discussion. That is the futures options advanced discussion, properties of option, trading strategy, exotic option, then binomial BSM and the BSM option strategies, Greeks. Now remember, this topic is linked with these 3 topics. So you will need some information of properties of option to understand these 3 topics. Okay, and these 2 topics are independent. Next is the fixed income advanced. Again, it covers the FMP and the VRM. So here you have MBS, swaps, applying duration. Again, the great topic, which is modeling non-parallel term structure. Again, this topic you can either just read it once or skip it to the end and prepare it in the end. Expected number of questions 8. Then we have VRM. In VRM, you have measures of financial risk, calculating and applying VAR, and this is specifically for the VAR, value at risk. Just remember, these 3 topics account for more than 6 questions. I'm saying expected number of questions as 6, but you might get more than 6. Next is the time series section, and you can see these all four topics are these all four topics are the mixed difficulty level. So what is the mixed difficulty level? So first of all, you need to understand that this time series section is the like huge subject. Okay, on conceptual level, it is very detailed discussion where you need at least 6 months of time to completely consume concepts in detail. Now, if you plan to consume everything in detail for these sections, then automatically the part will become difficult for you. If you are coming from the say financial engineering background or the quants background, applied mathematics background, you don't need to worry about this section because you already know all this, right? But if you are not coming, which is the major students, if you are not coming from the quant section, like a quants preparation of the quant studies, then the section is complicated for you. So remember, if you plan to go with the detailed preparation, which is not required for the exam, then the section will become difficult, time consuming, unnecessarily complicated for you. Now, if you just plan to read and remember on the surface level, okay, you don't need to like dive deep, just understand whatever you can and just remember the key points. If you follow this particular plan, then this section becomes average difficult for you and you will be able to score properly in the exam. GAP is not going to test your practical understanding of the time series. Please remember this. There is no learning outcome in this time series section where you are supposed to apply the concept. All the concepts are describe, explain, or evaluate like that. Okay. This is set 8. Then we have the set 9, which is the foundations of risk management. You have these two topics are practical, remaining topics are theory, but every topic requires the understanding of previous topic. Example, learning from the financial disaster requires the understanding of whole syllabus, because here we are going to study about what are the financial disasters, the number of financial disasters happened in the history, and what were the problems, what are the products used in those financial disasters, what were the strategies follows. To understand all the strategies, the products and everything, you need to first finish your syllabus because every detail is covered in your remaining syllabus. Then you have anatomy of the financial crisis, great financial crisis. In here you have a topic which talks about how the financial crisis happened. Financial crisis happened because of the MBS, right? The mortgage backed securities. MBS is the last chapter of your book number 3, right? So that's why you need to finish your remaining syllabus and then come here. And then GARP code of conduct in the last chapter. Just study, just remember the just basic points and analyze this section. Just don't remember the key point, important points. Okay, you must analyze the section, because in exam you will get tested in very different manner. Okay, GAF will ask very interpretation based question on code of conduct. This is applicable for only code of conduct. In remaining theory section, GAF will mix questions, twist questions, but it will not be interpretation based to an extent like you are not able to solve it, right? Then last section is the miscellaneous topics. Here you have the remaining section. Okay. So this is about your self-study guide, the basics of the self-study guide. While designing the self-study guide, we focused on two important aspects for this exam. One is the CBT, computer-based testing. Second aspect is there are a lot of students who deferred their exam. Okay. So one particular problem with the students who deferred their exam is like they are facing problem because they prepared for say whole year. They prepared repeatedly. First they prepared for the May, then they prepared for the November, and then they prepared for the Jan. Then the exam got deferred, right? So because of this, now they are not able to settle their preparation because the problem is from where to start and where to end, because everything got mixed up. So for them, my recommendation is focus on this set. Start with the set 1, prepare it, test yourself. Are you good for the exam or not, or you need any further preparation? If you are good for the exam, move on and keep doing this, and automatically your your syllabus will be over. And once you are done with the syllabus, automatically you will have the better idea of how you are going to perform in the exam. Okay, so that's all about the self-study guide. I will also come up with the preparation guides as in how to prepare for the individual subjects. Okay, what are the key aspects of individual subject, what type of questions to expect from the GAP in the exam, and so on. So we will have a subject wise discussion in coming days. all the videos will be available on the YouTube for your use. So it is better if you subscribe to this channel, and you'll be able to you'll get notified on that, right? So this is all about our discussion on the self-study guide. See you in the next video. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching.